So here's my prediction for the Lions 53-man roster.
Did you realize that you are a champion in their eyes?
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Gridiron Blitz. My name is Derek, and this channel we do predominantly Detroit Lions content with 4 NFL live streams a week and some Michigan Wolverines football as well. We got college in there, so anything football we do, all right? So make sure you guys subscribe if you see fit and set the notification bell to your preference. We have hit that time where cuts will begin tomorrow morning. I was under the assumption that they would start cutting people, the Detroit Lions, that is, Saturday. But Dan Campbell, after the game Friday, said that they would probably not make any moves until Monday. They wanted to hear about other people being cut. They also wanted to really make sure that they spent the weekend evaluating the roster and to see who stays and who goes. So that day is today. So sometime today, the cut should begin. The Lions have to cut 26 people. The roster is already set at 79 right now, and they've got to get down to 53. And then after they do that, they'll put the 16 on the practice squad. So we'll go through. I was looking through some stuff, and I was like, well, I'll just go over Pride of Detroit's, and I'll say who I think will make the roster, and then I guess we'll do a video in comparison to after the thing is set, and we'll see who stayed and who didn't make the cut. All right, so let's look at Pride of Detroit and see who they have right now, and we'll just do one at a time. So right now, they got the quarterbacks, Jared Goff, Tim Boyle, and David Blau. They don't think anyone gets cut. I agree with that. For some reason, they just will not give David Blau the number 2 position. I think David Blau will have the number 2, but I also think we're going to keep 3 quarterbacks as well. I've always liked 3 quarterbacks. So the running backs, this is intriguing here. They have DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams, Jamar Jefferson, Godwin Igwebuike, I hope I said that right, and Jason Kabinda as the fullback. So they're going to decide to keep 4 running backs. I do like this. Godwin made a pretty good impact on Friday's game, and they have him making the cut. So you know what that means. They have Dedrick Mills, who also was pretty good on Friday, and Craig Reynolds. Now, I would love to keep all of these guys, but let me see. I'm going to say the same top 3, and I would like Craig Reynolds to take up that number 4 with Godwin and Mills being on the practice squad. Jason Kabinda could stay as the fullback. So I like this, but I would just take out Godwin for Reynolds. But that's going to be, I hope Reynolds make the team. He had a bad game. They just got to see what he can do on special teams, and I think he can get there. But Godwin did show up, and I think he plays some special teams as well. Tight ends, they have TJ Hawkinson and Darren Fells, with Elise Mack and Brock Wright being cut. I think that they could do that as well. I like 3 tight ends, but I mean, if TJ goes down, then we'll have Darren. Those guys are solid at number 1 and 2. We could see somebody potentially come up from a cut of another team, but I like that as well. So I'll go with that and follow that. So right now we've got TJ Hawkinson and Darren Fells. All right, let's go to wide receiver. They have Terrell Williams, Khalif Raymond, St. Brown, Quintez Cephas, and my favorite guy, Tom Kennedy. I've been rooting for him for a couple years now. Being cut, Perriman, Bowden, Allison Sage, Javon McKinley, and Ratley. Now, I agree predominantly with this list. I just think that the Detroit Lions will carry 6 wide receivers. They did it the year before. I think that's a good number to have. But the reason they probably did 5 is because of the Jason Kabinda with the 4 running backs. Out of these, I would select Geronimo Allison. I hate to say. But Geronimo kind of stood out in that last game. And I would take him. Obviously, if someone gets cut from another team, then because we really need some help there. So I could say I like this with Geronimo either being that 6th guy, or we leave that 6th spot open for a potential wide receiver that'll be cut. I think that a couple of these guys could make the practice squad. We probably won't talk about that, but I think Sage does make the practice squad. I hope so. I think he's got potential, but he just didn't show it during the preseason. Offensive line, they've got Decker, Jackson, Ragnow, Vaitai, Sewell, Crosby, Matt Nelson, Evan Brown, and Tommy Kramer. Getting cut, Logan Steinberg, Haim, Paulo, and Skipper. I think the biggest disappointment here is Steinberg. He was a draft pick a couple years ago by Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia. Just doesn't look like it's going to pan out for him. I think both of those guys were hurt in the last preseason game, so that's unfortunate. So we'll see what the offensive line has in store in the next couple of days. Interior defensive line, got Brockers, McNeil, Hand. Wow, Hand makes the team. Williams, Anzarike, and Penacidi. Cut Strong, Hector, Brown, and Cornell. I think that Kevin Strong made a strong case for a spot on this roster. Now you're going to have to decide if you swap him for Deshaun Hand. Deshaun Hand has had a lot of potential, but he's never really been able to live up to it. I'm going to say Deshaun Hand makes this team, and he gets one more shot. Bubble guy. I think Kevin made a strong push to make this team, but I think they give it to Hand instead. Edge, no surprise here. Flowers, the old brothers, Bryant and Harris, who actually was pretty stout on Friday. So I think that's a good call, and I like that. Linebackers, they got Collins, Anzalone, Barnes, and Jalen Reeves-Maybin. They got Pittman, Jelani Tavai, and Beckett being cut. I like Pittman out of the three. If they decide to go with 5, I could see Pittman making this team. Tavai, the only shot he has, in my opinion, I said this Friday night, is special team. Bye-bye, Jelani Tavai. We probably will be hearing about cuts very, very soon, and he'll probably be one of them. Cornerbacks, Jeff Okudah, Amani O, Mike Ford, A.J. Parker, Melifonwu, Elder, and Bobby Price, with Jerry Jacobs and Nikhil Robbie Coleman being cut. I think Korn was on the chopping block for Coleman, who they just recently brought in, and I think he might have moved up with that performance on Friday night against the Indianapolis Colts. I actually am not bothered by this one bit. I think Mike Ford and A.J. Parker will be solid backups coming in for the 2 starters. Yeah, really, this is one of our weakest positions, I really believe. Tracy Walker, Will Harris, who is terrible, Dean Marlowe, and C.J. Moore are our safety group. So I think now, after the emergence of Derek Barnes and the stout play from Reeves-Maybin, that this is our weakest position right now. Tracy Walker, Harris is terrible. Marlowe and Moore aren't that much better. Cut Elliott and Holder. Yeah, those are special teams guys at best. Special teams would be Bullock as the kicker, Fox, no doubt, Stud as the punter, and Scott Daly as the long snapper. Wow, that sounds a little weird not saying Molbeck, but got to get used to it. Zane Gonzalez being cut, and that is no surprise there. I think he is not that great. I think that we could possibly have, I think Bullock might have solidified his role. I wouldn't mind maybe keeping an eye on a veteran being cut coming up now, but I don't know, man. This team right now, looking at the guys that I just named, I don't feel any different after watching the preseason and off this list right here that we are still any better than a 6-win team, but I could be surprised. I think we could use another linebacker. I think our number one priority is wide receiver. I think second to that would be some safety help, and also we could still use some linebackers. So, of course, some of those guys that didn't make the cut could wind up on the practice squad. I hope that Reynolds makes the practice squad. I wouldn't be mad if Sage Surratt makes the practice squad as well. And I am most excited, honestly. I would have loved to see Tom Kennedy and Craig Reynolds make the actual active roster, but Tom Kennedy is probably the happiest for me because this guy has been trying to make this team for 2 years now, and we've been sticking him on the practice squad during the Mac Patricia area, and I really believe that Danny Amendola was who really Kennedy was competing with, but now we don't have a DA. We've got more of a Golden Tate in Amon St. Brown. Tom Kennedy, he'll kind of fill that Danny Amendola role, and I think we still have some our eyes open on the wide receivers. Somebody will probably get cut, and I think that would be why Geronimo Allison gets cut. I think there got to be somebody that's going to be cut that we can bring up, but I still think we carry 6, but we'll see. My name is Derek. This is the Gridiron Blitz. Be sure to leave it in comments below. Who do you think will make the cut? And what is your most concerning position for the Detroit Lions? Mine would have to be safety, wide receiver, and then linebacker. Linebacker was at the top of that list, but after the play, I'm cool. I think we could use some help, but you know, I'm more worried about wide receiver at this safety and then wide receiver. You guys take care, and I'll see you in the next video.